Online censorship situation is pathetic. Lock in.
Online censorship is getting out of control. Never have I been more embarrassed at the free world as
What is happening in the UK? I don't actually know. My chat has come in and said that like corn is not illegal, but you have to like submit a face photo that is like with a database to be able to use it. So like it not only like removes your potentiality to like freely search the internet, but also your privacy in that. Yeah, you have like a face ID. No more gooning. Chat, I don't think it's that straightforward. I think it ID checks you to make sure that you're old enough to watch that. Or is corn literally just outlawed in the UK?
I watch their politicians take away our liberty with the most crooked smile on their face. Also, it's rich hearing them say, do it for the kids. The government is the last group of people I want to hear that from. Lately, they'll do anything but protect the kids. So if you don't know, the Online Safety Act, which requires your ID to just browse the internet, has been passed in the United Kingdom, and what's scary is that it's coming for the United States next. Remember, this country—
Damn, you think this will happen here? You think that it's not just for like corn, it's any adult-based viewing on any website on the internet. Yeah, Reddit would be banned. I'm assuming Twitter probably, you wouldn't be able to use Twitter because Twitter just has so many things that are, you know, like 18 plus or just illegal shit. Like you'll just see like people fucking making drugs on Twitter.
Country is founded on liberty. We are proud of its freedom, yet here we are with our lawmakers also thinking of enacting these dystopian laws in the form of the Kids Online Safety Act. Don't let lawmakers fool you. It's not just protecting kids from adult content, as the United Kingdom already makes people go through the system just to access Spotify, Discord, YouTube, and
I don't want to say that this will make them want to do it more. But telling somebody they can't do something is probably going to have worse effects. No? Like if you tell like a young teenage guy, hey, you're not allowed to watch this, what is the next thing he's going to fucking do? He's going to go watch it. He's going to go, shut the fuck up, I'm going to go watch this. Now and then he's going to go download a VPN and figure out a way to fucking weave through it.
Even Wikipedia. And I know that there will always be that government bootlicker who's gonna have a brain dead take of, if you've never done anything wrong, then what are all you guys scared of? Just give them your ID. That's not how this is gonna work, buddy. The United Kingdom especially has already shown that they will use this system to arrest someone over political things that they don't agree with. That is the real—
Spreading fake news. I think if you spread fake news, you should get, threats though? Okay, if you send threats, that's different. But if you spread fake news on an app, I don't think you should be arrested for that. I think maybe you should get your account banned. I'll agree with that. Like if say next election, you have an alt account that's just spewing just false shit. Like, I mean, that could be defamation, which would be the individual that you're talking about suing you. But if you're just spreading fake news about like government proceedings, maybe they ban you, but that would be it.
Agree with. That is the real reason they want our ID for a police state. It's not a matter of not doing anything wrong. It's a matter of still doing everything right, but now being told you're wrong since—
Bro, like okay, I don't want to say I'm having this like overwhelming feeling. I just want to buy gold, bro. I feel like now's the time to get into gold, you know? I think shit's gonna hit the fucking fan soon. Like, I think the world is going to collapse economically within the next 10 years. And I feel like if you hodl gold, that's like a crazy play. Right? Like like pre fucking 1920 or 1930s economic crash, 2008 financial crisis. Like, I'm just going to go buy gold and just ride that wave. Bro, like half of the US stock market is run by like 8 companies, which are big companies, but like all of what we invest into, all of what 401k is in, all of everything, like everything's just invested into these like few handful of companies that run our country. And then also just our national debt's out in the shit. So the dollar, I'm pretty sure the dollar's already 10% less valuable than it was like 4 or 5 years ago or however long. And like inflation's going to skyrocket. So money's just going to be less valuable. College football is starting back up. Fall sports are almost here, and now there is no better time to get in on the action than with the partner of today's video, DraftKings Pick 6. For new DraftKings Pick 6 customers, if you download the app and place $5 on your first pick set, you get $50 in bonus picks instantly. DraftKings Pick 6 is fairly simple. All you got to do is go into a given sport that you want to place your picks on, and you have to place 2 or more picks in a given set. And all you got to do is place more or less on the given statistic shown in front of you. And it's not just with pro and college football. You could do it for the PGA Tour. You could do it for the UFC, NASCAR, WNBA, whatever you want to place your picks on, you're able to. So if you're a new customer, download DraftKings Pick 6 and use promo code JOBY when you sign up. Place $5 on your first pick set and get $50 in bonus picks. Thank you to DraftKings for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into it.
It's a Trojan horse disguised as an anti-adult content movement that's aimed at protecting the kids. But in actuality, the government wants to monitor you and establish a social credit score. I feel anyone saying these laws aren't a big deal.
Do y'all think you would have a good social credit score? What is your social credit score based off of? Like, if you talk shit on the government, I'd have a terrible social credit score. My shit would be a 0.
I've never realized how much they take for granted the freedom they have in their country, or have never had family who struggled with freedom because they come from countries where governments are significantly more.
What does that mean? There's a few governments like communist countries that have had social credit scores where they monitor their citizens, and depending on how loyal and, good you are to the government, they kind of give you things in return or are more spyful and watching of you. Like, not in all. China's very weird as a country because depending on the city and area that you're in, there's more or less government intervention. But in certain areas, depending on how good, or like especially like North Korea, this is a better example, not China. China's getting more and more modernized in the world. North Korea we've watched videos about this. If you were like against the regime in North Korea when like your family was, like your great-great-great-grandfather, when North Korea was established, you and your family are now at like the bottom of a social class. It's kind of like a caste system, but you have to work your way out of it by gaining social score.
Everything they do, and can literally imprison them, or even imprison their family and send their family to prison camps over something they say online. And this is all the more sad because I'm watching these Facebook moms and uneducated Karens and beta bootlickers who are so easily baited by the
Bro, not even that. I think old people, the biggest thing, bro, I think you could cave old people to fake news so fast. Like, it is... Anybody over the age of 60, I think I could just make a Facebook account and just spew just false shit. Like, especially like 4 years ago during the Biden era, I think it would be so easy to get like just old heads to believe that like Biden was confirmed to be a doppelganger and just make it look like a real article with like some shit that they could skim read that like sources people that they know. And then you just be like, oh my God.
Let's let this law go through. Woo! And the government's just sitting in the corner, rubbing their hands.
Bro, the biggest thing, and it's not even just young people, bro. There's a lot of people that think I'm dead. Like, actually still think I'm dead. And they'll like unironically be like, oh, I thought you were dead for the last 2 years. Like...
together because they're super happy that they get to monitor everyone now. First off, I've always wanted to dunk on helicopter parents and their garbage parenting style, so now's a good time to finally do so. They seem to have this unhealthy obsession of monitoring and controlling their kids as much as possible and want to censor them from the world so that they'll never lose their innocence. Think of like Ned Flanders from like The Simpsons.
I never understand that, where parents try to shelter their kids from things they did when they were a kid. Very confusing. I understand there being like a level of guideline for your child and, trying to mitigate a lot of the bad things they could be introduced to at a younger age. But if you fully try to block your kid, sheltered kids always become the worst people. If you try and power mom your parent, your fucking kid, right? and you fucking just control every aspect of their life, the second they have a smidgen of freedom, they're going to go do cocaine, right? They're going to fucking get hammered, blackout drunk, get a DUI, right? They're going to be the people that just go buck wild because they've never had a taste of it, right? So you're like launching them into the real world versus like slowly being like, hey, wait until you're this old to do this. Wait until this. And then letting them slowly like kind of take flight versus like actually just letting like not letting your kid do anything.
Here's the reality though. The government shouldn't be responsible for stepping in to make up for the shortcomings of these bad parents. I'm so sick and tired of these parents who think it's the internet's responsibility to raise their kids and protect their kids' innocence. Since when has being a good parent become so underrated? Can we get parents who actually raise their kids again instead of expecting online influencers and websites and especially the government to try? That is ridiculous. Also, your kid has to learn about the world someday. Protecting their innocence will never last forever because by definition, your kid is not going to be a kid forever. That's literally how time works. Therefore, if you don't teach them about the cruelty of society, then society itself will teach them instead. And society is not nearly as patient or kind at teaching that subject. I've had plenty of peers growing up who were really sheltered, hyper-Christian, and super spoiled, and now some of them are way worse adults because they got addicted to substances or became
Bro, that's what I'm saying, because they never get a natural integration to it. It's just like they're held in like a purgatory state, like on parole for the first 22 years of their life. And then finally, once they're out of their parents' house, out of college, doing their own thing, they just fucking lose it.
Horrible alcoholic, they got multiple DUIs, can't get jobs, can't drive anymore. If you ever seen like those IRL streamers or break channels who try rage baiting people in public, then get shot or surprised that they get their ass beat, that's further proof that if parents don't humble their kids, then society will break them as adults. The rest of society doesn't have the patience to teach a 25-something what they should have learned at 14 in a high school hallway, which is why parents shouldn't be trying to shoulder the burden onto society to deal with their kids' corn addiction or constant swiping of mom's credit card or constantly throwing bits at their local e-girls on Twitch or heck even just wailing on gacha games because they're parasocial.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems. Bro, the one thing that I'll say about video games is I think the monetization of this shit has gotten so bad. I love Supercell. Okay, so let me preface it by saying that. I love Clash of Clans. I worked with them for their Team C's Team Trees charity event. They're a great company. They make great games. I load up Clash Royale. Bro, there's probably 150 different things that I could spend $20 on right now in that game. Like $20 individually. Like it is, and then gacha games in general. It's just money. Churning money. You're buying a $12 season pass on a mobile game. And I do it, right? Like it, and I'm not going to sit here and like shit on it because I do it, right? Not for Clash Royale, Clash of Clans. Like I spend money on that game because it's fun and it makes the game more entertaining. But it's like gaming in general has just gotten so like lucrative because I feel like the average consumer spends more money than ever.
It's corn addiction or constant swiping of mom's credit card or constantly throwing bits at their local e-girls on Twitch or heck even just wailing.
That's me, chat.
On gacha games because they're parasocially attached to a PNG. A responsibility of a parent is to raise and take care of their kid. That is not the internet's responsibility and especially not the government's. However, since the government is exploiting these helicopter Karens' insecurity of not being able to raise their own kid, the government's now taking this opportunity to collectively ruin all of our lives now by preying on the weakness of those Karens. These are the same adults who struggle to close apps on their smartphones because of how technologically illiterate they are. They have no internet literacy. They're extremely inadequate. These are the worst group of people to let vote for the system, yet they're the very first group of people to vote for the system because of how horrendous.
Well, dude, and people that are in office now, they don't even, they don't care because they're so old and they just care about getting reelected, and the fucking insider trading in like old people in office now is higher than it's fucking feels like it's ever been, dude. Like, you could literally look at announcements the government's made and then look at stock trading options, and the amount of calls that government officials have made on stocks that are either going to go up or fucking crash is crazy. Like, they know that it's going to happen. And they just fucking go, I'm going to bet on this because I know I'm going to make $1 million on this trade.
They understand the internet and technology in general and how poor their parenting behavior is. It's ironic considering some of them talk all the time about freedom and value themselves as patriots, which is why I want them to listen closely and know that the government is going to abuse this new system for
And it's so weird too, because they were a generation that like 6% of them averagely did acid by the age of like 16. Old unks, right? Not unks, old people, bro. Like your grandparents, bro, probably were fucking doing crazy shit. Maybe it was like the two polar opposites, and there were different groups of people where it was like some people were doing nothing, a lot were doing everything. But like, bro, motherfuckers were doing so much back then, where they were getting high, getting fucked up, skipping class, doing whatever. They were like delinquents, man. Like similarly to now, but now it's like they shame that. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be restricted, but like to just try and outlaw every possible thing that like our youth could view is going to make the problem so much worse. This is the best way. What did North Korean soldiers do the second they got out of North Korea? Got addicted to TikTok and porn. Let me answer the question before you even have the second to guess. Got addicted to porn immediately. Immediately. The first thing they did, right? So if you're going to fucking outlaw that entirely for like everybody, you're going to try and remove it. That's the more and more they're going to want to do it.
Bad faith takedowns. There's no distinct differentiation regarding satire, journalism,
and
or
I'm
political.
not saying there shouldn't be more restrictions, because you shouldn't. I don't think like 10-year-olds should have unfucking, restricted internet access. That's terrible, bro. I remember I think early 2000s kids were the first generation that literally could do. I was looking up boobs on fucking Google when I was like 10, bro. Like, that's bad. Like, but like to go from that to nothing forever is like, no, bro, they're going to try and find a way to get around that.
Criticism in a lot of these censorship laws. The United Kingdom specifically even says that it will purposely take things if it thinks it's like too politically extreme. But what does that mean, right? At what point are you just using it to silence the other side? In other words, these laws can easily and quickly be abused by the very government that is meant to protect us. Instead, they can use it to silence us. So to the
Bro, somebody said 2 girls, 1 cup at the age of 9. Bro, I remember my friend showed me One Man, One Jar, probably 4th grade, bro. I was shell-shocked, dude. I was like one of those guys from that meme image of the war where he's like I was not the same person after that day.
Older folk watching this video, I want you to realize that this law, it is the death of First Amendment. It is a complete death of...
What's that? Don't look it up. I'm actually serious. It's a man that sits on a jar and it breaks in his ass.
Free speech.
Hard enemy radar spike. Warning missile. Warning inbound missile.
The United Kingdom has already shown that it loves to arrest people for stuff they say online. Look, we've all been edgy, angsty, or rebellious teenagers before, and some of you watching might still be in that phase or have yet to enter that phase, but trust me, you'll get there and it's okay because people change over time. Like, think of how senior year high school you thinks freshman year version of yourself is cringe. Now fast forward 4 more years, senior college you is gonna think high school senior you was cringe. And so
yeah, it's the same fucking thing. Your whole life you're gonna look... Bro, I remember senior year me being like, wow, I was a loser freshman year. I think senior in college me thought senior in high school me was more of a loser than senior year in high school thought of freshman year in high school me. Like, it's not even comparable. Like, I was a fucking pussy when I was 18, 19, bro. Like, I was a loser, right? And that's like the era where like guys think they're really cool. right? Like, that's where you're like, yeah, I'm the shit, man.
Go on. People shouldn't be at risk of being arrested for being an angsty youth who said something really stupid online. It is the worst use of tax dollars and prison infrastructure to lock these teens and college-age students over online speech, because that's
No, I don't think you should like lock them for that. It's just like, I think a big thing, bro, people say stupid shit when they're kids. The problem is now the stupid shit that kids say is broadcasted on the internet, right? Like when you're 10, you're 12, you're 14, you're going to say fucking weird shit, right? But now you're on the internet and you're tweeting that, right? And now that's just there.
what this is going to end up being used for.
Digital footprint, but like on an extreme level.
In the near future when it passes. They were accused of false communications, fake news, and so on. And again, ignoring the fact that some of these people will just genuinely always fall for conspiracies and fake news, let's remember that it's not worth sending them to jail over. That you could also be jailing the wrong person, because there is absolutely a chance that you, me, or several other people who are just going to partake in satire. Like, there are a lot of people who understand the ridiculous nature of some fake news and are fully self-aware that it's completely fake, but just want to pretend to fall for it and start crap posting about it on all corners of the internet. It's just satire, right? So imagine making like jokes, memes, or satires about something that's obviously so fake news coded just to make your friends laugh in a group chat or Discord server, but the government comes knocking on your door a few days later and boom, busts out the chat logs, now you're in the handcuffs. The fact that these laws—
Is it that serious though, where if you sent something in a group chat and joked about it, the UK would arrest you? I think that's different than like actively posting like defamatory or like fake news versus, you know, just being like, this meme's funny.
Laws aren't even fully passed, but arrests have already happened, just goes to show how authoritarian and disgusting the real intentions behind these laws are. The government is just waiting for a full-blown green light to just screw everything.
Somebody threatened my school, got 50 years in jail. That's different. I don't think you, maybe not 50 years, but if death threats is a hell of a lot different than fake news, right? If you're like posting death threats on social media, yeah, that's a crime, right? That's like a legal offense.
This is going to literally affect everyone in a negative manner. It does not matter where you fall politically, or even if you have no political values at all, this is gonna affect your life. Speaking of the kids, how about the Jeffrey situation, huh? Yeah, now the
Who's Jeffrey?
government decides it cares about kids all of a sudden. Yeah, all of a sudden at the end of the July, you guys care about kids, when throughout the entirety of that month, you know, where were you a few weeks ago regarding those papers, huh? Why?
Oh my God, Jeffrey Epstein. Why didn't he say Epstein? Who the fuck calls him Jeffrey?
Online Safety Act so important now, huh? This is just me proving a point that the government is going to say whatever they want to get what they want when they want it from us. They do not care about kids. They've clearly shown they don't care about protecting the kids. All they've ever done lately—
Well, I think it's all the government and the people within the government kind of work for the party rather than the people, and that's gotten worse and worse. And so now they just kind of like basically write whatever they're putting into law in like a moral way, where it's like, hey, we're trying to do this, and then everything else that they don't care about, it's just like ignored. So they, you know, kind of, what is it called when you they contradict themselves a lot.
Is take, never given a damn thing back. Genuinely breaks my heart knowing that Americans used to laugh at people in China over the social credit score meme, and that wasn't even that many years ago. Yet here we are, about to pitfall into the same exact system they once ridiculed. Like, is that not like the death of liberty? Is that not the death of freedom? What's the big deal, eh? You know, here's the part of the video where I'm gonna debunk the most common counter-argument from bootlickers and undercover government agents. Here's a lukewarm take that I keep hearing repeated in the past few weeks. Why is everyone so okay with giving an ID to drink alcohol, but all of a sudden it's not okay with this? It's just an ID, guys. Just—
Well, it's tracking you versus proving your age so you could buy a product.
an ID. Okay. Alcohol is a physical, consumable item that can lead to horrible decisions like drunk driving and can actually negatively affect other people's lives. Want to know how many people die if someone makes edgy remarks on the internet? Basically none. So let's not pretend these are the same caliber, not even remotely close. Also, what about the ID system for Spotify? What is their excuse for that? There's no universe where you can compare listening to music on
ID system for Spotify
Spotify as the same as going out to a nightclub with adults grinding on each other with—
Do you have to submit your ID for Spotify? I feel like that just becomes more like personality tracking, and that shit freaks me out. Where like everything has cookies and wants to gain information on you as a person. What you like, what you don't like, right? And there's like a profile that's like attached to your persona of like how they can market things best to you.
Alcohol everywhere. Obviously, you need to present ID for that. I'm sick and tired of hearing that this isn't a big deal, and then they greenlight the government to speedrun this law through legislators, and once the law does pass, it's going to be super hard to overturn once it's enacted. But in the meantime, it's going to ruin all of our lives as we quickly regret.
What are cookies? When you enable cookies, it allows them to like track and sell your info as well as like use other websites info. Like, that's why whenever you download an app, the iPhone now has to ask you if you allow them to track or not. I always hit don't. If I hit on a website and it asks me for cookies, I'll go the extra steps to go no. I'd rather have bad advertising on, like, websites. On YouTube, it's different. I'll let YouTube gather all the fucking info they want. I want some good ads on YouTube. I fuck with good ads. That's different. But, like, certain companies, it really is like certain companies. I'm like, yeah, I trust you. Yeah, I'll let you see what restaurants I like. Maybe give me an ad for a deal they have at Chipotle. And then I'll maybe go.
They aren't going to stop at our ID either, by the way. This isn't just our ID. Several lawmakers are also pushing for biometric data like face and fingerprints over the internet. Like I said, this isn't out.
Bro, I missed the fingerprint unlock on iPhones. I'll say it here. I'm not really a big fan of Face ID. I kind of miss the fingerprint. That was awesome. I don't know. It was, you know, because you when you fuck up the fingerprint, you would tap it and you're like, it's not working. Not working. Type in the password. Face ID, you're like, and it just hits you with the, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. I'm gonna start freaking the fuck out.
Alcohol, this isn't firearms, this is the internet. Like, they're gonna track our face when browsing the internet to see if we can use certain websites. That is a huge privacy violation, and I guarantee this part was included because big corporations love doing this. Like, they love stealing our data and giving us targeted ads based on our browsing behavior. So the last thing I want those jerks to have is our face and fingerprints too. Also, data leaks happen all the time. I don't trust them with that data. It's 100%
Oh, I thought it was going to be an ad pivot.
gonna get hacked. Also, how am I gonna use my
70 alternative accounts!
just to take advantage of the first time buyer deal if my singular face will be now tied to all those accounts now? And wow, all of a sudden I'm seeing why greedy.
I know a guy. Okay. When streamers do ads for companies and those companies have products, sometimes those products will give a influencer a paid cut per product that is sold under their code. Now, a streamer I know that'll remain unnamed and a company that will remain unnamed got sponsored on stream by a company to promote a potential food product. And he made like 30 or 40 accounts to order this product under different emails when he started streaming, so years ago, and got paid like $80 or whatever for the fucking fee, but the product only cost $60, and then he would refund it and close the account or some shit. And then they like banned his account from being sponsored. And he made like fucking $4,000 on it or something.
And yes, I shamelessly do use alternative accounts to reuse that 10 to 15% first time buyer deal when shopping. I mean, have you seen this economy lately?
Was it you? No. When I did TikTok, I used to do ads like back before this probably when I would get like, no, I wasn't getting any money. I wasn't making money on YouTube or Twitch, probably before I even did it. I would do an ad and they wouldn't give me a base pay, but it would be pay per download. And there was these apps when like TikTok was originally to get. I kind of feel bad for doing this, but I think I've said it before. Well, you remember when TikTok was originally going to get banned? Like when Trump was president in 2020, this was like way back, right? Like 2019. And people were freaking out about it. There was a bunch of like dupes for TikTok, and they were paying like crazy premiums it was a free app. They just wanted you to download it because they wanted to work off of the like hype of TikTok ban to like get people to move platforms. And so I was like, yo, follow me on Bigo Live. I'm going to be on Bigo Live. And it would be like, bro, I only got like 100 downloads, but I probably made like $400. And I was like, bro, these people are trying to follow me. I had no followers at the time that like would actually listen to me. I was like, yeah, Bigo Live's the move, bro. We gotta fucking get on the hype train. It's the new TikTok. So I'm telling you, they're doing that shit still. Not Bigo necessarily, but I'm saying like when TikTok was going to get banned this past time, if you ever saw an ad for another fucking platform, I'm telling you, all those influencers were making money on it.
Sadder is, imagine you gave your ID, face, fingerprint, but you still get rejected from browsing certain websites because an AI has decided you are not of age to access it. RIP to every single adult with baby faces. I guess y'all's ID won't even matter since the companies using AI apparently know you better than you do yourself. And dang, I just realized all of us Asians are gonna get cooked here. That's why Twitter loses it whenever they see a mid-20-something Asian lady and start claiming that it's not right to be attracted to her because that's not an adult, even though she's very clearly adult. Like, I'm sorry that we don't get our first wrinkle until we become 40, all right? So I guess we're all 15 years old according to the entire internet and according to these AI biometric scanners. So guys, I might not be able to log back into this YouTube account if this does pass as a law because I might have to wait 12 years until I get my first wrinkle. Sorry that I'm Asian apparently, and I don't look old.
They've just announced they're rolling out AI in the US to detect if users are actually under 18, ignoring whatever the account's stated age is, and will...
Yeah, how do you think that AI gets trained? Like, probably based off what you watch, right? Like, if you say your account's born in 1995, but you watch Sunday and fucking Courage JD, they're going, yeah, you're fucking 10 years old, bruh. You're fucking 30 and you watch Courage JD.
Apply restrictions to users it suspects are teens.
Yes, YouTube and a few other websites have discussed using AI to monitor someone's browsing behavior to then...
I watched Joe Bart and Goblin 420. I'm gonna fucking gut shoot that you're a 17-year-old stoner. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be offensive either. You watch me and Goblin 420. Goblin just be like, yeah, I took 6,000 milligrams of RSO and I thought I perma-fried. So the fuck is Goblin? He'll do like tier lists on drugs. That's, to put it in perspective, he watches me and Goblin who talks about like smoking crack out of a fucking tin foil. Or something like that.
Just in case a kid steals their parents' ID. Oh no, no Roblox or Pokemon for them. Ha, boom. This system knows that it's still a kid watching it. This, of course, is so stupid because it completely ignores the fact that several grown...
What do they think like a YouTube account that's over 18 watches? Good Mythical Morning. Fucking Mark Rober. Vsauce. I don't know. Like, what's like a YouTube account? Body cam videos? I don't know. I feel like that's an up in the air.
Adults do look up content like Roblox, Minecraft, Pokemon cards, and they also spend thousands of dollars on Legos, all of which are items that correlate with kids. Imagine being...
Dude, Pokemon unboxings. The like top 5 background noise. Just some guy, not even a face cam, just his hands. And they always got like perfectly cut fingernails because you know they hyperfixate on that because their fingernails are in frame the whole time. And so they're like I always think about that when I see Pokemon unboxings. They always have perfect nails. Never any like dust because you know somebody would be like, oh, you're gross. And they just fucking rip like 2 hours of unboxings. Yeah, Crispy will do it.
Blocked from the internet just because you have a hobby that the internet deems too childlike. And before...
That's weird. Why are you looking at that? Brother, if this is the frame, right? And they're going, all right, so this is what we have, right? At some point, you're going to look at my nails.
someone laughs or ridicules those adults for owning Legos or playing Pokemon, this can easily snowball and affect everyone. Imagine if the internet also decides, well, only kids usually like race cars and dinosaurs and monster trucks and skateboards. Therefore, based on that kind of watch history, they should also be considered minors. And boom, now you can't even watch car videos because you're getting age.
I really feel like the way YouTube rolls that out, though, it's gonna get most of it wrong. It's really only gonna flag like obvious kid accounts.
Restricted because it thinks you're a kid.
Over the next few weeks, we'll begin to roll out machine learning.
I'm sorry, bro. If you're watching like a clearly child YouTuber like Quebble, if you're watching Quebble Cop and you're like 26 and your account gets flagged for being underage, brother, like I'm understanding that though. You know, like that's. You know, you're just watching you're watching children content. You're watching jelly, right? Like not dissing the YouTubers, but they market themselves for kid content.
To a small set of users in the US to estimate their age so that teens are treated as teens. And
like, why should a system determine that certain activities or genres are indicators of someone's age? Like, the entire gaming community is going to disappear off YouTube, basically. People who do theme park content are going to get Thanos snapped as well. Like, this is just horrendously stupid. But yeah, to all the UK and Australian viewers, I appreciate y'all having to go through the trenches and getting bombarded by 10 government drones while you were trying to boot up your VPN to even watch this video. I'm honored to have you guys risking your life to be watching, and I hope that you all can hang in there, and I pray that the United States does not follow suit in the same footsteps. I do not want a single person in the US to ever brag about freedom against China ever again if we actually end up passing this law, because if we just straight up turn into the same country, except without the cool cyberpunk cities and functional train infrastructure, bro,
We don't have train systems, but we still have a social credit system. Anyways, vote on the poll, chat.